Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Rise, new day's dawning, and it's calling.
Okay, this is a segment that I know some of y'all have been waiting to hear, all you waterfowl hunters in West Tennessee, and we're really happy to have with us trying to work it out with his schedule and everything else. There's so much going on right now, waterfowl-wise, duck blind drawing-wise, and I think he's kind of like Jake Yost. When I need a CWD, I get Jake, and Jake's right there. And I'm really happy that Jamie Feddersen has volunteered. And Bill Cooksey, that is the state motto, right? Volunteer. I mean,
that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So get Jamie. Jamie is the TWRA Migratory Game Bird Program Coordinator, which is too big of a title to get on a shirt. But right now he's a busy man. And good morning, Jamie.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
We're doing good. Frank Barton, you're listening to. Also, Frank, listen to this because it may come to Arkansas someday, Frank. But first of all, before we get into what we're going to talk a little bit about the duck blind drawings and things along that line. Wrap up the season from your perspective, Jamie, for Tennessee, duck-wise.
Yeah, sure. If you recall back, we talked before the season started, and I was trying to temper everybody's expectations, and everybody wants to go into the season thinking it's going to be fantastic. There's plenty of birds on the landscape, and boy, this was one of those years where tempering expectations was going to be wise, because we had another one of those years. I think anybody that hunts ducks know that it was another kind of tough year. We still had birds in the area. People were still shooting birds. Our refuge counts they're pretty similar to what they were the last couple of years, but not gangbusters by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, we all saw it. It just didn't get cold until now. Now this past week it gets cold, and we're probably starting to see big pushes of birds, coming to us now. I know that I think the youth and military hunts that we had last weekend were just fantastic. From all the reports that I heard, that people just had some really great hunts. So I think that just shows, when you get some really good bad weather up north, we start getting some really good hunting out of it. So,
well, I heard that, and same way over in Arkansas. I think it's a great addition that you guys have added the military to that. As I mentioned at the start of the show, I think that's added a lot to it, and I saw a lot of happy faces on Facebook, which I was glad to see as far as last weekend. But I know it was probably a tough one for Bill Cooksey, because Bill, the 15th, is no longer a youth or whatever he is. But
he's not, but I went out on Saturday and helped him out.
Did you really? Good.
We took some kids and had a big time.
Great. Well, that's what it was. I mean, and technically that just spurs interest, and to throw the military in there too. I think Arkansas did the same thing, didn't they? Didn't they have their youth weekend was last weekend, wasn't it, Frank? Frank is still there. Frank is still there.
What was that again, Larry? About what?
What? Last weekend was Arkansas's youth and military, right? Or was it the weekend before? I can't remember. So they've added the military in the last 2 years. And I don't know, Jamie, when did we add the military?
This is the first year that we've done it.
That's what I thought. Arkansas's done it for a couple of years. I know they've done it and add the military, just a great advantage. Yeah. But as we listened and as you listened, Bill, to what Jamie was saying about the season, tell him what the season you had, because you brought up some interesting points about what you guys killed.
Well, our main duck in January, as far as what we would see, was pintails. And I'm near Halls, Tennessee, and there were just tons of pintails, lots of widgeon, lots of gadwalls, even a lot of canvasbacks. We had a heck of a year on canvasbacks.
And then Frank got no gadwalls. He was telling over in East Arkansas. So Jamie, I know I don't think there's any more group more optimistic on a season than duck hunters. And we say that every year when we have you on the show, and Bill says that every year. And so that's good, folks. Keep buying the duck stamps. Keep buying all the stamps because that does aid is important. And we know that duck hunting is a lot of socializing and things along that line, but at the same time, it's part of our life in this area of the state, which leads us in. We're familiar with duck hunting in West Tennessee, especially Bill Cooksey. So talk to us now about. And I watched the commission meeting in January online, which I think is a great thing to do. Talk about the proposal going on right now.
Yeah, so we've been for quite a while. We've been sort of looking at, how do we increase the opportunity for all of the duck hunters in Tennessee to get access to our waterfowl hunting areas, and it's something that we've been thinking about for a while, talking about for a while. We've been hearing, comments and feedback from hunters for years, dealing with the fact that, we have these hand draws for season-long permits. Essentially we're giving out permission to build blinds on our areas. And so we started talking about, hey, what can we do to sort of open that access up a little bit to a wider group of people. And we went through a bunch of different plans and options and ideas. And I think, of course, you all have probably seen or heard the plans that we put out right at the beginning of February, where we're proposing this tier system where on our WMAs basically in Middle and West Tennessee, all of the traditional duck hunting areas that have these season-long blinds on them, there's going to be, certain tiers. So we're going to still offer some season-long permits so people can still get the permits to build their blinds. TWRA is going to have a second tier, a tier 2, where we're going to build some duck blinds on our own. We're going to brush them. We're going to maintain them. And we're going to offer up hunts on those for like 3 or 4 days because, not everybody hunts 40, 50, 60 days out of the season. Sometimes folks just need a weekend or a few days, and that's all they want. So we're trying to offer that to them in that tier. And then we'll have tier 3. These are sort of we're going to issue quota permits for them to kind of control access to them. You get a permit, you can hunt that area for 7 days. I think we're offering up a week-long permit for use on that area. And then some of the areas we're going to offer as a tier 4. They're just these are sort of the lower pick blinds that, they just, they're always like the last ones picked and a lot of times they don't get hunted anyway. So we're just leaving them as first come, first serve spots. So you can just kind of show up with a boat and, get out to that spot and you can hunt it. And, so that's sort of what we're doing. It's sort of trying to get a little bit more access, more opportunity for people to get access to those WMAs and just to get some folks a little bit of hunting.
I know you've had quite a considerable amount of public interest in this, and in fact. The commission meeting that was scheduled this week, Chairman Kurt Hobart moved that to March 4th and 5th, give you a little bit more time to hear from the public and things along that line. Bill Cooksey, I know, as a waterfowl person in West Tennessee, this won't affect Frank, of course, in Arkansas, but Bill, your thoughts on this? And I know Bill does not mind giving his opinion, and Jamie doesn't mind listening to it.
And let me start, Larry. You'll back me up on this. I am a huge fan of TWRA. I'm supportive of y'all in all the time in writing and social media everywhere else.
Yes. Yeah.
And back when I was the editor of the Hunting and Fishing News, I wrote a lot about TWRA and was supportive. I'm not a big fan of the sweeping changes. I'll go ahead and tell you that, Jamie. The number one question I would ask a few years back when TWRA had to go up in a huge way on our hunting and fishing licenses in the state. I mean, it was a drastic increase, and that was stated as necessary to maintain current spending levels. If that was true, TWRA cannot afford to build and maintain blinds. That would be my number one concern. And frankly, I don't think y'all should be in that business. So that's my first concern. A lot of these WMAs, the blind system needed to be changed. So don't get me wrong, I'm not totally against what y'all are suggesting. But when I cross paths with these people from Middle and East Tennessee who are claiming to not have access, I ask them, do you know about Moss Island, Chickasaw, Anderson Tully, the Eaton side of the Tigert Bottoms? And I start reeling off all these WMAs and public hunting areas we have, and they don't know anything about them. Well, if they aren't taking advantage of what's already there, my heart doesn't really go out to them on wanting to wholesale change things for locals who have had a tradition forever. Because we have good opportunities that those people are not taking advantage of.
Advertising those opportunities or making those opportunities known. We definitely need to do a better job at that. I'll admit that, and it's certainly part of our plan moving forward to get those types of opportunities out there for people to know about them. As far as the funding of the duck blinds, the best I can tell you on that one is that's a couple levels above my pay grade. So I can't really answer, where, how we're paying for it. I know that there's a plan. It's just I'm not high enough up on the ladder to know what that plan is.
Right.
So, that's the best I can tell you there.
Well, I know
this year you're going to be flush with Pittman Robertson dollars, and who knows, maybe for the next few years, but obviously that you can't count on it. So.
No doubt about it. And in fact, actually, with that Pittman Robertson money, it's usually like a 2-year lag on that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. And also, in order for us to spend it, we actually have to have an equal match to it. So if we don't actually have money to match the extra Pittman Robertson money that's coming in, we don't actually get to use it. So it's a little bit more complicated, and probably we're starting to bore folks with talking about how funding for wildlife agencies work.
Well, again, we're talking to Jamie Feddersen, TWRA Migratory Game Bird Program Coordinator, and a lot of this, folks, will be decided at that commission meeting the 4th and the 5th. And we wanted Jamie on, and I'm glad that Bill could take time, because I know this is, like we said, has created a lot of interest, and the TWRA wants to hear from you, and has been hearing from you. You don't have to go very far, Jamie. You know that, to go to social media and get a lot of the information and things along that line. But hey, we appreciate you taking time, Jamie. You're always right there on top of things, buddy, and. We just hope that we can coordinate an effort here that will bring everybody together. We don't want a lot of me this and me that, but I think that you've heard from Bill, and he represents a voice of other people, but at the same time, you haven't backed down from answering it. We appreciate that, Jamie.
No worries. We're just trying to make. I just want to make duck hunting available to as many people as possible that want to try it. And so, hopefully we can come to some compromise that not everybody's going to be happy, but hopefully we can get most people happy. And that's what where I'd like to be.
Well, Jamie, thank you, buddy. We're out of time. Jamie Feddersen, thank you. You folks can go to tnwildlife.org and keep up with all this via the website, the Facebook page of the TWRA, whatever it might be. Jamie, thank you, man. We'll probably talk to you next month, okay? All right, let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We're going to come back and we're going to switch to Arkansas. We finally got Luke Naylor on the line. He's ready to talk. Are you ready, Frank, to talk to Luke?
I think I'm ready.
You're ready. Let's take a break. Be right back.